What is up, y'all? It's Bodybuilding Coach Nelson here, coming at you from Dallas, Texas. Go Mavericks. I haven't been to a single one of their games in like 10 years, but go Mavs. So today I'm taking you through a back workout. Okay, so a few things we need to cover first before we get into it is one, this is my back workout on a certain day in my workout split based on my goals, based on how much volume I like, based on the exercises that I like, as well as exercises that are going to help bring out the physique that I want to achieve, develop. So number two, so this is going to be chest and back workout B for my current split that I'm doing right now. So my current split right now is chest and back A, legs A, shoulders and arms B. Come on, man. Shoulders and arms A, and then same thing over again, but just different. Same, but different. Okay, so we got chest and back B, legs B, shoulder and arms B. So this is going to be from the chest and back workout B. I'm showing you just the back, not the chest, although we'll mention a few things regarding supersetting, something like this. If you want to see the other workouts my workout split right now, leave me what you want to see next. So which out of those 6 days you want to see most, and I'll try to get that up for you guys. So right now I'm going to cut to a clip of me posing lat spread back double bicep, so you kind of get an idea of why I'm trying to target a little bit more of my upper back versus not going too ham on as much as the lats. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so here's the back, pushing my arms down, getting a little bit of those lats engaged. My back has always been the leanest part, so you can really see that I have good lower lats, especially rear delts, which is great because those are the muscle groups that I really prioritized over the last 3 months. And right here, as I go into a lat spread, pause, and right away, they can see that my rear delts are one of my strongest points. If you really want a wider looking back, working the rear delts is something you want to definitely do, and I'll show you how to do that in this video. Going from those rear delts to the lower lats, you can see that I have really good development there. I got a really good Christmas tree looking back. The teres look decently developed. However, this is the reason why I want to bring them up, is because right as I go into a back double bicep, although they appear really good right here, when I go into a back double bicep, they're really lagging to build that width right underneath the armpit, right underneath that rear delt. I also do need to work a lot on this pose right here just to get a little bit more symmetry. I'm just not flexing quite right, and that's why it looks uneven. And also bringing up those teres is really going to help my waist look a little bit smaller. Right here, you could kind of see that I don't get as much of that Dorito Y-shape, V-shape, whatever you want to call it, as much as I do on the lat spread. I'll be putting the full back workout in the description below and also linking the video to the exercise tutorial for all these exercises. So let's get to it. Start things off with a single arm cable rear delt fly, my hands down #1 go-to exercise for the rear delts. You can also do both arms at the same time. However, this is a lot easier for me since I am supersetting this with an incline dumbbell bench press. And also, if it's your first time doing a rear delt cable fly in general, doing one arm at the same time can really help you build that mind-muscle connection. The height of that cable is set up to wherever I'm pulling down, I'm coming down at a 45-degree angle with that arm and that elbow. You can pretty much see that my arm and that line of that cable is pretty much exactly the same. Imagine like you're trying to drive through that elbow. Try to keep a slight bend at the elbow as well too, not extend the arm, and fully contract that tricep. And on that way up, back to that pulley system, imagine like you're still pushing outwards to the side and also trying to reach in front of your body. That's really going to help you feel the lengthening and stretch of that rear delt. And on all these exercises, I'm just going to be covering the basics because I will be linking that full-length exercise tutorial in the description below and probably somewhere on this video as you're watching it. And you can also do this exercise in a different order. This is what best suits me as far as the layout of my gym and what I like doing best back to back. Next, going into a lat pull down, or better yet called a teres pull down. Although it will work the lats, it's primarily going to work the teres, as you can see I'm contracting right here. I like to have a grip that's just about 4 to 5 inches outside shoulder width. This is going to really allow me to bring those elbows not just far down, but also far back behind my body versus if I had a wider grip towards the end of the bar. On these, imagine like you're not just pulling down with those elbows, but also back behind your body. On that way down, you want to lean back in a controlled manner to further activate the teres, and on that way up, align that torso to go back up to neutral to further lengthen the teres and the lats, versus if you were just leaning backwards the entire time. Try to get a squeeze at the very bottom, and keep the tension through the elbow as you take a 2 to 3 second eccentric as you go up, and keep it a slight bend at the elbows at the top. Make sure that thigh pad is really pressing on those legs, keeping them nice and secure, and we're going for 8 to 10 reps on these. And if you're interested on what I'm doing for chest, I am supersetting this with a machine peg fly. My gym has 3 of them, so the one is always open as I go back and forth from these 2 machines. After this, I'm going into an actual lat pull down for the lower lats. On these, really focusing on trying to drive that elbow down towards my thigh and stopping when my arm is alongside my torso. And on that way up, imagine like I'm trying to push those elbows towards the front of my body and allowing that torso to go forward. That way I'm able to fully lengthen those lats at the very top. Going for 8 to 11 reps on these, and if you don't have this machine, you could replace this with a neutral grip cable lat pull down. I like to do my pull down movements together and my rowing movements together. So now that I've completed my pull down movements, I'm going to go into my rowing movements. Getting that upper back really fired up using this Nautilus Nitro mid row machine. Setting up that seat to where I'm pulling towards the bottom of my sternum. That way those arms are angled between 30 and 45 degrees. Ideally, I'd like to be rowing just a little bit higher. However, on this machine, if I put that seat any lower, the chest pad is on basically my neck and my upper chest, so it feels uncomfortable. So ideally, I would replace this with a chest-supported T-bar row, but my gym doesn't have one. But if yours does, definitely you can replace this exercise with a chest-supported T-bar row. This is going to work the rear delts again, and also the teres, the traps, and the rhomboids, as I especially try to, as I'm pulling backwards, pulling those elbows not just back, but out to the side, and trying to get a little bit of retraction of the scapula. That way I also hit those rhomboids and the traps. One thing that I do like about this machine is that it converges as you bring those hands in front of your body, so you get a little bit more lengthening of the back musculature. Going for 10 to 12 reps on these, that way I could use a weight to where I'm able to really get a good contraction at the very back, squeezing those traps and those rhomboids on the majority of the reps. And lastly, I am supersetting this with a decline machine chest press, my last and final exercise for the chest. And lastly, to finish off the back, I'm doing a low row on this machine right here. Now, a low row in general is going to help you target the upper lats, the teres, because my arm is slightly to the side, the rear delt in this case, and also it's kind of a low to high row because it kind of starts off low, and as I pull backwards, it slightly gets more elevated, so it really helps me also target the traps as well too, as I kind of squeeze and pull upwards on those handles when I go back. Now, a row just like this one where you're pulling close to the belly button is going to help you work more of the upper portion of the lats. Right here, you see me doing an underhand grip. Ideally, I would like to do a neutral grip with those arms a little bit closer towards the side of my body. However, this is the grip that allows me to get those elbows as close as I can to my body. Like the row from earlier, try to keep that tension through the elbow, get a good contraction and squeeze at the back, and as you're going forward, try to imagine like you're trying to push that elbow down towards the ground. And another thing, since this machine kind of goes from low to a little bit higher as it has a little bit of arc in its path as I pull that elbow backwards, it kind of gets a little bit higher as I pull through. It's going to allow me to work also the traps as I not just pull back, but also trying to bring that elbow towards the ceiling a little bit. And that completes the back day, starting off with that rear delt fly, just trying to really just work that rear delt in isolation, and then going into a lat or teres pull down, trying to work the middle portion and upper portion of those lats, but mostly those teres, and you're going to see those rear delts fire as well. Then going into an overall upper back focus row with those arms coming back between 30 and 45 degrees, working the rhomboids, traps, rear delts, teres, and just a tiny bit of those lats as well. And finishing off with the exercise that you just saw to target the upper portion of the lats, and on this machine specifically, the traps as well. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and also please subscribe to support the channel. Let me know if you tried this workout, and also comment what y'all want to see next.